Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out.
Hi, it's Saturday, June 14th, 2025. Almost said 2024 again. And we're coming to you from sunny Northern California. Our father, we were eating on the patio the other day, and he said, when is the weather going to get nice? Because we have had the most gorgeous.
Was he being funny, trying to be funny? Oh, okay. Here,
Yeah.
let's scoot down to this. Just come a little closer.
I feel like the camera might be wiggling too.
Oh.
Should we pull the table towards us?
I don't think it's hitting the table.
Okay.
Huh.
We're glad you're here. Welcome.
It does feel...
If it continues to wiggle, we
will deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good to see everybody. What else to say?
We're so good at the intro part. We excel at this part.
Oh, brother. Okay, well, what do we want to get started with? All right, what are we going to do in this episode?
Yeah,
let's see. Actually, things are going to be a little bit different in this episode. Anna is trying to see if the table's hitting. Do you still feel like we're moving?
Don't you think it's moving?
But when you do that, yeah, it's moving. All right, we're going to pause and fix something. We're back. We're having a lot of big fails, so put your seatbelt on. You're in for a roller coaster on this one.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go back. Come on, Anna.
Whoop.
Serious it up. What are we going to do in this episode? We're going to do a little chit-chat.
You told me to serious it up.
And a toast.
So just make me laugh.
We are going to share what we've been working on. We are going to get curious about the sampler color exploration and assignment number 3. We have just been out in our patio sorting our patterns.
It was fun.
It was fun. We spent about an hour doing that, so we'll tell you all about that. We have plans. We have shared supplies. And we're going to end with our thumbs up.
Great.
Let's do it. Tell us some things from the comments.
All right. Lots of well wishes for Carolyn in her retirement from the math classroom. So she's still working at her school, but won't be teaching math every day. So thanks for all those well wishes. She is a fabulous teacher. I know it's evident even on FlossTube. Lots of love for Carolyn's little FFOs. What do you call that finish? I want to call it a little mattress finish.
It was like a mattress. It was kind of like, it was a little box. We'll call it a box.
And then the teeny tiny little pillow. That really sung to a lot of us. I had asked for suggestions for what kinds of flowers were in the Black Water Blooms piece, and a lot of people voted for lilies. And I looked up some of the lilies that were cited, and such unusual, beautiful shapes.
I love all the different flowers people recommended.
Yeah. And some of them I hadn't heard of, and you realize, oh yes, flowers are regional, or can be. Some people recommended to me, I'd mentioned that I use a highlighter on my working copy, and that my highlighter was smearing over the tape that I was using to keep the pages together. I love a big pattern that I fold up. So several people recommended using a color pencil instead. I cannot believe I didn't think of that.
I'm gonna also make another recommendation. I don't use tape on the front of the pattern. I either use double-sided tape on the back, and so it's sticking with the double-sided tape, or I use that those glue dots.
Brilliant. I hadn't thought of that either. I think I'm used to taping things together for sewing garments, and you want them to be super sturdy, and you don't want any of this kind of stuff happening. So great. And then a lot of people talking about how much they love Markup RXP, and I think you had said something about if you used it for that, how could you watch FlossTube or do some of the other things? And a lot of people said they use a split screen option for those kinds of things.
Yeah, I had no clue you could split screen your iPad. And I haven't actually tried it on mine. I'm like, is my operating system so old that I'd never seen that before.
But you'll know as soon as you investigate.
I will know. I know. That was such a great idea. Good.
Yeah. And significant things from our lives. You want to go first?
You can go.
Well, we just had the most incredible week-long visit. Our daughter and her family came, and our son, who lives locally, and his family were over a lot, and extended family beyond that too. And it was just fun. Mm-hmm. Lots of playing with little ones, which I love. And another significant thing that happened in my life, my magnifier lamp broke.
Wow, Anna, so give us the details.
The plastic in the long, because I use a floor lamp, the plastic cracked. Wow. So it does get a lot of afternoon sun, which is one of the reasons I'm very, very careful about covering my magnifier with a piece of fabric. And so I was like this, oh my gosh, James, my magnifier lamp broke. And he's like, order another one right now. And then I tried to tape it together, and it was really hard. And then I got paint stirrers, those wooden sticks.
Oh.
And I splinted it. Yeah. And then used electrical tape.
Did that work?
It's working, but it's kind of like, but it'll hold me through until my new one comes.
Wow, because you are so dependent on that.
So, and I knew that I was, but when that happened, I realized, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think Brenda and Laura shared in a recent video that their lamps broke. And Brenda said she always has an extra on hand.
I think it was just in their most recent video that they said that, because I think Laura was like, I can't stitch and my lamp better be there when I get back.
And I almost ordered 2, but I only ordered 1. Maybe I'll order another one another month.
Because Anna, let's see, purchase. How long did you have that?
I can't remember. So what's this, 2025? So I've been stitching for 4.5 years maybe. Mm-hmm. And I probably, so at least 3 years.
Yeah, you got
3 to 4 years.
Because you got it sooner than later.
I can't remember.
But still, my lamp is kind of janky. I got it at Michael's like years ago, and it never, the 2 pieces, like you had to screw the 2 pieces together. It's a floor lamp, and they never quite fit. I probably should have taken it back and I didn't. So same thing, I have like electrical tape and it's always like really wonky, but I just use mine for light when I have it, and I'm fine without the light.
And I do a lot of this, like when I get out of my chair. So there was something about.
Did the plastic crack?
Yes.
I almost wonder if you could put it, is it hollow? Can you put a dowel inside it?
Well, the electrical cord runs up the middle.
Yeah.
It was time for a new lamp. And I guess it was a realization for me too of, like, I've had my sewing machine since I was 17. But there are other tools in our life, even if you buy a high quality tool, they just have a life, they have a lifespan, and be prepared to replace it.
And maybe moving it so it's not in the direct sun, if that's at all possible.
Maybe I could work that into my habit
or just scoot it behind your chair. Yeah. Okay. So
Carolyn?
my biggest significant thing, and we had talked about it before, is I had my last day as a teacher. So on Monday, it was last Monday, went to HR, got checked out of everything, got paid up, all that. And then the next day I started my new job, which is awesome. That job's going to just be part-time, and it should eventually average out to about 15 hours a week. And I'm working in the being support person in the academic technology department. But this last week, we just had a huge workshop on a new piece of software that all the teachers are going to be using. And so I was like so busy all week working on it, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was so fun working with the teachers. And it's something about it in education is called your learning management system. It's where you put all of your planning and things for students. And it was so fun because as I was working with teachers, I got to see more into like, how do they structure their classes? Like, what is their thinking? That was really, really cool.
Because they were asking for certain features?
Or just as I was just helping them and put their stuff in, I'd be like, oh, well, show me how you do your rubric grading. Okay, because thinking about, okay, how could we put that into the new system? So sort of helping people figure out how they can take what they're doing and put it in the system.
And people put their lesson plans in there too?
Now we can. It's actually really cool. And like, this is probably too much in the weeds for people. I'll tell Anna.
Yeah,
I might cut this out. Like what I did is I didn't put the physical lesson plans in there, but I linked the lesson plan. So now we have all in one place because we now have a spot where we can put our teacher things, and then you decide what of those things you make visible and sort of put out in the student world. So you now have a teacher world and a student world. So it's really good. Okay, we'll finish this conversation later. Part of that, though, on our very last day of the school year, and that was Monday when I finished being teaching, that we always do like transitions and there's a little party. And typically the head of school gives everybody a book. who's leaving for whatever reason. And I had opted out. Some people, they'd offered me a retirement party. I'd offered to opt out of that. That was just not my jam. But this year we had a new interim head, and she gets up there and she projects all the people that are transitioning for one reason or the other. And then she goes, this year, instead of a book, I went up to one of my favorite places called Heath Ceramics. I love Heath so much. I actually audibly gasped. We were all in this like auditorium. There are probably like 100 of us there, and I go,
we should say in a previous video and on Instagram stories, you had 3 Heath bowls with the 3 colors of linen. Mm-hmm. So that's
okay. I'll put that right here for there. My dinnerware is Heath. I have a bathroom tile that's Heath. So she goes and she's giving everybody their bag, and what she's told everybody, it's like a Heath tray, different colors. And she's like, oh, you can mix and match your colors when you're done. And then I'm last. And she calls me up, and I get this enormous box. And she does not know that Heath is like one of my favorite things in the whole world. Her idea is Heath Ceramics came out of Sausalito, California, and all the ceramics is made out of California clay. I did not know that. So her idea was, I want to give everybody a piece of California if you're going away. That was really sweet. Mm-hmm. I got this huge bowl.
It's beautiful.
I just have to show you because, first of all, she had no idea how much I loved Heath.
Yeah.
And then I got sort of a special present. I must have been sort of like my retirement present since I didn't. Oh my gosh, it was so
salads, amazing. Pasta, fruit.
Yeah, my son and daughter-in-law have a bowl like this. One of our other sisters gave it to them as their wedding gift. This is their popcorn bowl.
Oh, funny.
They use it for other things but popcorn. So I was like, that was the perfect way to say goodbye to me at school.
I'm glad you feel that way.
It felt great. And everybody was like laughing because I had such a genuine like reaction when she said the word Heath. And people just thought it was hilarious. And
I'm sure it was extra funny because you don't really care about things that much, kind of, you know.
All right, so that's been my life. Okay, so we thought we'd toast today just life transitions. And Anna's daughter that was visiting had their new baby with them. You know, I'm retiring and I'm still working, but it's totally different. And just really embracing as life changes, just go with it the best you can. Here you go. To life transitions.
We have a finished object.
We have a finished
object.
I'm going to put my beautiful bowl. Actually, Anna, can you put it on the table?
Yeah.
There? All right, everybody.
Crash.
I have finished Bun Bun. I put the last stitches in it last night, and as always, I just feel a little sad. I'm gonna miss this one. It's really fun. Here we go. I'll see if I have to take it off the board. Bring it in close. So here's the details. The designer is the Artsy Housewife. It's stitched on 36 count jalapeno by Fiber on a Whim, and I'm shouting out to Cam of Cam the Stitcher because she's the first one that showed me this jalapeno on one of her floss tubes. I paused her and ordered it right away. So I got inspiration for the color from that. For the thread I used the called for DMC for the bunny, and then I just did my own color conversion because I was using such a different colored linen for the rest of it. And I'm very, very happy with it. I know a couple of people have asked me for the conversion, and you know what, I'm not sure I can give it to you because it wasn't always a symbol to symbol conversion, and I kind of mixed and matched. So I can give the colors I use, but I'm not sure if that's that helpful. The one thing I'm trying to decide if I'm going to change is this one too light. And I'm asking Anna, is this flower up there too light? Okay, do you have thoughts?
I have to look.
Yeah. That.
I don't think so. I think if this one wasn't dominant and pretty light itself, it might bother me.
Okay.
But I feel like there's enough balance there.
And then one small change I did, I overstitched those. The stems for the tulips in the border in the filled area were originally that same magenta color that they are in the unfilled area. And I had done one last time, but I just took the green of the leaves and just overstitched. I didn't take it out. I just stitched over the top of it. So just I think that's a good reminder of sometimes when you don't like something, just stitch over it. So
I forgot about that option.
So how am I going to finish this?
Yeah, how are you going to finish it?
All right, I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame it.
You're going to frame it, okay.
And I'm gonna frame it in a signed and number frame. And I just brought over the two Artsy Housewives that I framed before that I finished. I used the signed and number, they're Pee-wee in a color. So this was Pretty Bird. And I put it in this sort of wine color. And then this is Weeds and Wildflowers. And I put that in a navy thin border. So my first thought was to do a lot of the Artsy Housewives in the same style frame. And now I'm wondering, do I do this one also in a colored frame? Like I think that wine would look pretty good. Or should I try like the same style frame, but in a natural wood, like maybe a dark natural wood?
And I was thinking you were thinking like maybe a different frame to add a little bit more dimension. Like,
well, I mean, another one would be to do the Park Slope, which is dimensions. And maybe doing that one in this wine.
That's what I would vote for.
The Park Slope, and do you like that wine with it?
I do.
Yeah, okay. I think I'll do that. And the same time that I get that one framed, I'm gonna get lit framed.
Just imagine like maybe 4 Pee-wees and 2 Park Slopes. I just think that might look interesting.
Is that upside down? No. This is lit.
You really want to roll with these two.
I know. And these look so fun together. I had them, can you hold that one for a second? I had them leaning up against the couch, and they're both, the animals are just looking at me. And then I'm like, I need to do a series of Artsy Housewife with just animals staring you down.
And with the frames, the
border.
The border.
I also thought this one would look good with the wine colored frame. Now, I don't know if that's starting to get too repetitive.
I want to add another color in, but I know you're going to do more Artsy Housewives.
Right.
So
this could also look good in a really deep, this is a deep green. So whether a deep green, or maybe this could look good in a dark wood frame because the browns and the deer. Would you put this one in like the Pee-wee, or would you put that in a Park Slope? Or they also do like the Pee-wee, they do a very similar frame to this. It's a little bit wider. It's not quite, it might just be the wee, not the Pee-wee. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I kind of want to look at a Park Slope and kind of hold it up to imagine. I like the idea of combining 2 slightly different and complementary styles of frames, not just colors and natural. So I don't have a strong opinion.
Okay,
which
I'm going to
one.
look at that because my North Pole, I don't remember that one I did in the Park Slope, and it would stand up on its own. And this is sort of a similar shape to that one. Okay. So I'm going to frame both of these sooner than later. In fact, I'm going to make my decisions in the next couple of days and order those. So Artsy Housewife is my featured designer for the year. And so now I'm like, oh, what's my next Artsy Housewife?
Yeah,
like,
what is it?
Okay, so I have some choice. I thought I'd kind of walk through them. Anna gave me the pattern for Flora. This is one of Gigi's new releases. And I have just ordered, or I've ordered the floss and the linen from Artsy Housewife.
Oh, good.
And the floss, this was originally designed in Roxy Floss. She used Dirty Linen Zweigart for this, but on the Evertotes, they said, oh, if you want to use an Evertote linen, we recommend this. So I actually went with
Do you remember the name of it?
I don't.
Okay.
And so I went with the recommendation.
Next video, we'll see.
And I've gotten my email that it's been mailed. So that's going to come sooner or later. That's a possibility. The other one is, this is a whip that I have going, Blue Moon.
What about if you do a Pee-wee for things that don't have a strong border, and another style for one that does have a strong border?
I like that.
Something
Anna.
like that.
I like that. Here's Blue Moon.
By strong, I mean like a framed border.
And I might just pull this out while I'm waiting because
this is
it's
pretty.
feeling very fall. I really, really love it. But it's feeling more of a fall vibe. So it's in this bag. Actually, it's a bag that the Camping Stitcher made. And here's my palette for that one. That's been really fun. But then, also randomly, there's this whole palette in there. And I'm like, I don't know. It was for something because I got a little bling on it. Was it something I finished? Was it something I was thinking about?
Speaking of bling and project bags, I have not been using either at all. I gotta get on it. I really like them both.
You haven't been using project bags?
Nope, I've just been like chucking them in a drawer.
Okay. Yeah, so I love this palette. I'm like, what does it go to? But it is kind of funny when you pull something out and you're like, oh, I don't know. Okay, so those are possibilities for Artsy Housewife. The other possibility is I'm going to put up, this is pretty in her beginning. She did 2 designs. This one's called Grace. And then she also did Peace. I have a PDF of that one, so I'm going to put a picture of Peace there. And Amity of Boomerang Stitches and the Hathaway Stitchers, Amity, and she designed it in a boomerang. That was a lot. She stitched these 2 together, and this is a copy I made of her photo of the design. So this was actually Amity's stitched piece.
Love it, Amity.
This to me is so beautiful, and it never occurred to me. I had looked at Grace, I had looked at Peace. I didn't realize they could piece together. So I'm thinking about copied, i.e. being inspired by Amity and doing this. But my other idea is because both of them they're actually stitched on different linens.
Yes, I like that.
I'm thinking about doing like a collage where I do different pieces of them and make them different tiles. And then having them magnetic, and so that they can move around, or thinking
One of
about
us needs to try something like that at some point.
And then I was even thinking about, she has so many great dynamic and bold borders, like maybe even taking some other motifs from other ones and making like a square. So I have to sit down and kind of do the math and thinking, what would the shapes of the different pieces be? Almost like a puzzle piece that you could rearrange how they are related to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cooking around in my brain. So that's maybe a little, that's nothing to start right now because I have to do some thinking. So I'm thinking.
Or you could just go for it, and just
I
like in
could.
quilting, whatever size and shape they
I
are,
could.
you just make it work.
I could. All right, so my big decision is, do I want to do it like this as one piece?
It's so beautiful.
I know.
If you don't, I will.
But I love the juxtaposition. This is one thing I love about Gigi is this juxtaposition of different size and scales and organic and this one is more putting the 2 pieces together, the primary pieces. So there are my Artsy Housewife next steps. So I think, okay, now that I've been talking it through, I am just going to stitch on this one, so I always have one going. I think as soon as I get Flora, I'm going to start it. But I am going to be doing some more thinking about what I'm going to do there.
Great. It's like, it all went into place.
The last thing. I went on the Patreon today. Today is the 14th, and she gets her new patterns on the 15th. So I just wanted to make sure I had downloaded all of my patterns from last month before the new month come out. And
we still have access to them though, don't we?
No, after the month, you if you haven't downloaded them, you can still get them through the store, but you buy them.
Oh, I haven't been downloading mine.
Oh, from now. Okay, start doing that.
Okay.
So the month that they are on, that's when you can download them for free, and then they go into the library. And that's just because otherwise, like if I join today, I can't go back for the last year and a half and get all the free ones. It's a month at a time. So start downloading them.
Okay.
And they're also in our shared supplies if you ever want to stitch. And I don't download them all. I tend to download ones that either I think I'm going to stitch it or I like the motifs for that. And long story. I'm kind of in a long story mode today.
That's okay. 'Cause we don't have a lot of content.
Hey, this is your content, folks. I was looking through the Patreon store and I picked this pattern and I downloaded it. And I'm going to show it to Anna right now, and I'm going to put it on the screen while I'm showing her.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So our sister Lynn, about 2 months ago, she woke up, she turned to her bedside table, and there was a squirrel looking at her eye to eye, like this far away.
Now we need to say that in our area, we don't have a lot of like gnats and bugs. So a lot of people just have their windows and doors open, not even with screens in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So birds, and we've had a squirrel in our house too.
Animals come in. And it's also like people just have their doors open. Like not your front door necessarily, although sometimes front doors open, but like your patio door, and they have one of those walls that's super cool that just retracts, like it's a door that's a wall, and just she's an architect. It just opens up the whole thing. So I think they had this squirrel in the house and they thought it got out, whatever. But anyway, she wakes up and it's like
I can't imagine.
This away from her face. And then just the story that goes on from there. I won't give you the gory details, but just in some ways hilarious story. The squirrel eventually gets caught by animal control and taken and released someplace else. So my idea here, I'm just gonna stitch the squirrel and make a little tile and go into her house one day when we're over there.
Put it on her bedside table?
Put it right there on her bedside table. So
That's
it's right
funny.
where she woke it up. So I actually think I might do that. In fact, I might go to Michael's today and go get the DMC for that.
If you're going to Michael's, I'm coming with you.
Okay, let's go after this.
Okay.
And this I might, if the colors are right, I have a piece of 20 count Ada linen. So I might just stitch it on that because in some ways it's just sort of like a fun, and it might be a great time to experiment with that.
Fun idea. It's summer. We got lots of time.
Well, I'm still working, but that's okay. No, it's so funny, Anna. I worked so hard last week, but I had so much fun in my new role. I'm a person that likes change. I'm like, you know what? I think I was just ready for a change.
You might have been past due for a change.
I might have been
Even
past.
though you enjoyed what you're doing, you're really good at what you're
And I
doing.
think-
You do like a change.
And I think that's also why the previous year I liked doing that at the JCC, doing that totally different thing. So it helped me realize I'm not done working. I was just ready for a change. And again, this job, once it gets going, it's going to be literally like 15 to 20 hours a week. So it'll be good. All right, that's enough for me.
We have one work in progress. If I had to estimate how much I stitched in the last 2 weeks, I would say 10 hours or fewer.
I'm about in the same place.
It's a really strange feeling, but that's what it is. And we had, like I said, we had so much fun with visitors and, dinners and hanging out after dinner and all that kind of stuff.
And just end of school, we had
End of school.
we had house guests, and I was working, had my new job.
Right.
John and I were biking down to the farmer's market today, and the bike, it took me past my school, and I'm like, John, that's where my new job is. Okay.
All right, so the whip that I have is something that I showed as a new start last time, which is the Not Forgotten Farm Folk Bird Needle book. And I'm exploring Not Forgotten Farm's catalog this year. And this is a pattern I shared last time. I noticed this pattern as soon as I came back to cross stitching during the pandemic. I'm like, oh, what's that pattern? There's just something about that big plump robin, and the robin is getting plumper. I am stitching this on 40 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works with the called for DMC. It's a 71 by 71 little stitch, and I am going to make it into a needle book. I don't have a needle book yet. And as per usual, the colors are really neutral and earthy. So that rust color is really the only pop. And I'm enjoying it. It's like watching baseball at night and putting in 5 rows. That's been perfect for me.
That's been what you're doing. All right, so you still have some of the, let's see what you have left to do. The banner things.
Yeah, the
pennies or whatever.
right. And the border, and then there's quite a bit of robin left too.
Oh, yeah,
and then I got to figure out what the heck,
The worm
like some
slash
sort
needle.
of backstitch kind of thing. I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out.
Oh, it has a little border. One of the commenters says something like, "Oh, who doesn't like a robin?" Or
Yes, Robin knits.
Oh,
Yes.
I hadn't picked up that was her name. I hadn't picked up who was actually saying the comment. Oh, that's super cute then.
Because I think you said something like it's a funky robin or something. Maybe she identifies that way.
Great, Anna.
There we go. I had held up a little quilt square that I had that was pretty bright, and someone said that I could consider sort of toning that down. Maybe tea dye it or coffee dye it or something.
I thought that was a really interesting idea.
Yes.
I think that would be worth trying.
It's funny, like those kinds of ideas, I know I've been sort of exposed to those, but until I try something, sometimes I forget about all the options. So that's one of the fun things about having a floss tube and all the comments and everything is it like helps you think about options. Really enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like we've learned so much out of everybody's suggestions and ideas and experiences. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you for everybody that does that. I love it.
And funny stories too.
And funny stories. We do have a little bit more stitching that we're going to show you here, but we're going to couple this together in the We're Curious segment, and we're going to be talking about the sampler color exploration that we've been hosting and working on. Just to give you a quick recap, we've been doing assignments with this, and the idea was taking a sampler, getting rid of a small sampler. Well, you could do a big sampler if you wanted to.
No, it's not allowed.
Okay. not looking at the colors of it and picking your own palette and then stitching it. So the first assignment to recap was pick your sampler. Whatever the cover photo is, get a black and white photo or copy of it, put the color away, and that's your piece that you're going to do. That was assignment number 1. If you want more details on that, you can find it in episode 71 in the We're Curious segment. Just a reminder, there are chapters down here, so you can zip right to that. There's also information in Instagram in a stories highlight, and I think the highlight's called something like color, something like that, because you couldn't put a lot of characters there. All right, the next assignment, assignment 2, was build your color palette, both the floss and the linen that you're going to use. Details about that one
from Stash, if that's an interesting component to you.
Right. Episode 72, and then We're Curious talks about that. And then also Instagram stories highlight, you'll see the assignment there. Now, Anna, don't tell them I haven't put it on there yet, but between now and the video, it's going to be up, okay?
I was just about to say to Carolyn, you know, sometimes I think I miss stories that you put up. So text me when you put up a story, because I missed that story.
I'm now like, that's just one of those things that's on the to-do list, and then when you're really busy, you're like, and it never quite gets up there. I'm like, that's something I can do this weekend.
And a few people have tagged us for the sampler color exploration, and we'll have to.
Yes, and as you're working along with this, if this is something you like to do on Instagram, the hashtag, I'll put it right here, is TheSamplerColorExploration. But then also, if you don't mind, tag at we.r.curiouscrafters, so that way we'll definitely see it.
So we're a little behind, so I'm looking forward to looking at what
I also think I have not really been on Instagram for a good solid week plus with everything, but we'll be getting back into that. So now we're going to talk about our third assignment, and this is sort of really the last assignment. It's like, okay, start stitching. And
see what surprises you have in your color palette.
And I guess the big thing is, as you're stitching, do not hesitate to change colors along the way.
I have to say though, as I'm stitching, because mine is so small, that was one of my surprises of like, oh, this is small. I almost am like, okay, I'm going to stitch it this way first, and then I'm going to stitch it again. I almost want to do iterations instead of replace colors in this one.
I actually almost thought about that for mine too, like thinking, oh, it might be fun to stitch it with a different palette, like something that was more muted or more bright or something like that.
But I'm going to wait and see, because if Carolyn has feedback of like, take that out, then I will.
All right, so why don't we share what we've done so far?
Okay. I am doing a freebie by La Di Da called Golden Finch. And I actually cut off the suggested threads so I wouldn't be tempted to look at them.
Oh, Anna, that's good.
And I'm using 36 count Coco Loco by Roxy Flossco linen.
Oh my gosh.
And the colors are a mix of MPI silk and a variety of overdyed cottons. And I've used a lot of these. One of my questions when I hold it up is, have I used too many colors in such a small piece?
Because it is a really pretty palette.
So,
oh no, it looks so good.
It does?
It looks so
okay, good, because I just really wasn't. I was starting to feel like, I don't know. Like, you need a partner in this. Find someone who will talk color with you.
On the brown. Anna, that looks so
good.
effing good.
Okay, because like I said before, first of all, this is not a question, but it was like, oh, this is tiny.
It is tiny.
And I hadn't stitched on dark fabric for a while, and I realized how much I use my needle and like it's the feeling of the needle passing over threads instead of just using my eyes to go over 2 threads. I'm literally taking my needle going like 1, 2 to find the next hole.
It is not too many colors at all.
Okay,
because
good.
like the colors, you have the bird, but then you have
there's
the
3
branch.
yellows in the bird.
Oh yeah, and that's what gives it so much good depth.
Okay, so here, let me get to some of my questions.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I realized when I was first picking colors, I thought I needed really bright colors, but when I saw Caroline of Evertote's version of Teresa Kogut's Folk Art Garden, which she is doing on this same fabric, and those colors are very grayed and muted, and they look fabulous. So they really just need to be lighter. That's one of the things I've learned.
So it's more, so like again, it's going more to the value.
The alphabet of these 3 turquoise. I'm using this one.
The most muted
one. The most muted by far.
Oh.
So the way things are showing up on the chocolate brown is surprising me. But here are my questions. Is the black and the white of the wing too dominant? Do I need to replace the orange of the beak? Because when I put my finger over it, I'm not sure I miss it. Like, do I want to put that yellow instead? And are the shades in the red flowers working? Those are some of my questions, besides, is it too many colors?
Okay.
So, black and white of the wing, too dominant.
Not at all.
Okay.
Because that's also was part of the bird, right? When you looked at the photo of the bird.
Yes, but the bird has more, and that's another one of my questions, is how close to the American goldfinch, true, like nature's imagery, do I want to stay?
I like the black and the white, and the reason I like the black and the white is I think if it was all gold there, or gold family, it would feel very flat. I feel like the black and the white makes you feel like there's a wing there.
I wondered, like, should I just have one little stripe of black in the middle and more yellow? Anyway, okay,
I also feel like, again, it serves the purpose of a resting place, because black and white, and I like that. Okay.
Okay, the orange beak.
Do not change that at all.
Okay. What about the lightest pink in the flowers, and should I bring the orange into that if I replace the lightest pink?
I love the light pink. I really like taking one color and having both different values. So like you have your turquoise lights and medium. You have your pink. And is this also in the pink family?
That is this sort of Band-Aid color.
I'm looking at the bird's legs. To me, the bird's legs and then the two pinks read as one color family. Mm-hmm. And I think that orange is just a little, it goes with the yellows. In some ways, to me, it doesn't read like, oh my gosh, here's a totally different color on the beak. It looks like it's still in that warm family.
Because that is what some beaks do look like.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'm going to do my initials in the darker turquoise. So that's why you see another shade of turquoise up top.
In this dark. Oh, I see.
So that'll be more evident when
you have the
and then I was
in there.
playing with that darker turquoise as the border, and I think I like it.
I love that.
So should I just like?
Big
changes?
No big changes. I think it's very successful. And it's so cute.
It is really cute.
This one you might consider finishing with that backstitch technique and either make a tiny little pillow
or
a little ornament. And Anna, I could see this could be so fun if you wanted to play with the brown linen some more, picking another color palette or going more muted or pastel or...
And thank you. Is it Lori who is the designer at La Di Da? I mean, it's just so, when designers put out these little freebies, it's just so generous and so fun. Mm-hmm. So thanks. I've had so much fun with this pattern.
And I know a few commenters and people on Instagram said that they were going to maybe consider doing the goldfinch. So
now I texted Carolyn yesterday of like, will you go find, if we can find images of this on Instagram, because I have no idea what the colors are. And because it doesn't have a cover photo, because it's not a full-on, pay for pattern. I just am dying now to see what the suggested.
And I texted back and I'm like, does that mean you finished?
So I'll wait. I mean, I can't tell you a dozen times. I'm like, oh, Anna, just go.
And the other thing is the flower is still going to come up to the beak. And so I think having the beak be orange, once the flower gets up there, you are going to want a different color there. You would not want that to be pink too. So successful, Anna. I'm loving this.
Okay, great.
This is one of the funnest things. Like I haven't seen any of the stitching, and then you bring it, and you're right. It's small, but in a great way.
It's a cute pattern.
It's a very cute pattern. It makes me want to stitch it, and thinking again, like tiny little. Mm-hmm. All right, fantastic.
Is it going to be hard to do that kind of finish with dark linen? No, because I'm going to put my back stitch.
You're going to put your back stitch, and I would do that. In some ways, those are X's. You'd have to think about you'd have to think about what color you want your back stitch to be in. And I think you don't want it to look like the linen.
Do I not want to do the X's around the border and just do a backstitch border?
That's kind of what well, let's go look up. No, I think I think you would have a different backstitch border, because the backstitch border we'll go look at my pillow, kind of gets pulled into the seam.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay, Carolyn, your Black Swan pin keep.
Mine is the Black Swan pin keep by Scarlet Letter, and here is my black and white photo of it. And it's so funny. I have not looked at the color probably now for 6 weeks since I got this.
I sort of forget.
I totally forget. Well, I guess the swan's black. I totally forget what everything is. Here is my palette. Again, I've been enjoying using these bins. and just loving. I have some pinks. And again, here, this is where I like having, you know, blues, the dark and the light. I have these two greens. I'm really enjoying.
Which remind me of your Heath bowls, I have to say.
Yeah. Do I like oh my gosh. Yeah. Almost exactly. I have these taupes that I like. And then finally I have this deep purple and creamy white. That's my palette.
Very pretty.
And here's where I am so far.
It just looks classic and pretty. I'm really liking the turquoise or the blue, whatever you want to call it.
One thing I did, I'm showing Anna and then I'll go back and show you. The turquoise doesn't have a fill-in, but I filled in the center of the turquoise with the light blue. I'll show everybody else and you can see. If you can see in the top, the turquoise, the center of the turquoise, I put the light blue in there. I don't know if you can tell the difference between going down the side doesn't have it and going across the top does. One of the other things I changed is I used two greens. I used a lighter green where it's coming up against the flower.
I like that a lot.
It was charted just in a single green. So if you look near that pink flower, the lighter green is right there. It's kind of like the bud of it. And then I'm going to use, for some of the flowers that haven't opened completely, I'm using the cherry cobbler for the flowers. I'm going to use this lighter pink, dusty pink. I'm really into this color right now, Merriment. That's going to be in there as well. And I get a small, and not that, like, I'm not a person that needs like a fast finish. I'm like just happy stitching. But this one, I think I've only stitched on it like 2 evenings. And the alphabet letters are really fun because I'm just connecting them along the back more or less. So right now, when I first was working on it, I had the turquoise and the purple letters and I hadn't put the flower in. I'm like, am I gonna have enough?
Put your hand over that because I can totally see that.
I was looking, it was just this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, are my colors just too bright and don't go together? But as soon as I put that in, it started to feel better. So maybe that's another thing also to think about as you're stitching. Don't make many quick decisions until you have enough color. And then that was also my decision of why I wanted to put that light blue in the turquoise, just to kind of add a little bit of depth so it wasn't just like stark.
Yes, I like it, but I like it a lot.
I'm having so much fun, so much fun. I think I was telling you last time, I realized once I looked at the pattern, these two little doodahs are over 1. So I think I am going to stitch one of them over 1.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to put my mark on it, which is also over 1. When I have to do that. So I think I'm going to put that on there as well.
I've never used my mark.
Use it.
I know.
So I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying this sample color exploration.
It's been super fun. And I think it's sort of also kickstarting maybe me trying a little bit more of this in the future.
And it also reminded me it is really fun to pick a smaller project.
For me, critical.
And just stitching it in hand, it's smaller, just feels really good. So this will not be the last one. And it would be kind of fun. This might be our assignment. This is Extend Your Thinking assignment. Might be stitched a second time with a different palette. And to see how it feels. Or switch. I was thinking the same thing, Anna. We could flip-flop the patterns before we even look at what the colors are.
Although I might peek at the golden finch when I'm finished. It's like Christmas.
Oh,
waiting for Christmas morning when you're a kid. Like I really need to peek soon.
Okay, so
great. Carolyn, thanks for getting us started on this.
Also for this, never hesitate. If this looks interesting to you, it's work at your own pace. Go back and start with assignment 1, or you could maybe do assignment 1 and assignment 2. Pretty quickly, just seeing, but join us at any point if you want to. We would love to see what you're up to.
Yes. All right, so Carolyn referred to this at the start, but we spent an hour on the patio taking patterns out of boxes, putting them into slightly new categories, and it's just so fun to sort of say hello to each of them. Some of them I didn't even recognize. So sometimes if you purchase something and maybe I get a glance of it, it doesn't really get into the long-term memory. It's very fun. We have a lot. We have a lot of beautiful patterns, and it's very fun to just even look at them. That's always in my crafting. I mean, of course, I like the making and usually like the product, but I do like the collecting, and I like the looking at like the different fabrics that I have or the different patterns. I find a lot of joy in that too.
We need to do that a little bit more often, just pulling out, because it was fun. But we were pretty much down to business. We have 9, really 10 boxes, and so we took everything out of our boxes and we started. Actually, when you're up to, Anna, will you get the bag of our those patterns? We put them all out. We put up tables out there. We put everything out, and then we actually came up with new categories of how we wanted to sort them. And some of our new categories were, we decided to put some designers together. Like, we found we really do have a lot of Kathy Barrick, so let's
hashtag Kathy Barrick fan club.
Let's put those together. Or we took some of the attic designers, the Scarlet House, Needlework Press, and a few of the others, and put those. So in fact, our samplers spanned 2 boxes for that.
When we say the attic designers, ones that sort of have their own little spot at the attic and are local to the attic, and we, admirers.
We had a whole box of Christmas and winter, and then we did another that was seasonal for the other.
I thought we were going to have enough for a fall box, but we have mostly holiday, winter, and just a little bit fall.
Yes. So we still have our 9 boxes. They're just now recategorized. And then we also had a box, and it was like this before, and we're keeping it. We call it new patterns. So really, as we get things and maybe look at it, we keep it in that new patterns, because it's kind of fun for those to kind of make sure we've each seen the new patterns or done that. Now, a couple things we noticed, like, was so funny. Sometimes I'm like, I have no memory of this pattern. Like, where did it come from? Which one of us bought it? What was our thinking? I mean, I could still love it, but it was just like, I have no memory of this. So what were some things you noticed?
I noticed that we have a lot of samplers, and samplers are definitely what I was drawn to in the 80s and what I was drawn to when I came back to stitching, but I have not really been stitching a lot of samplers. So that kind of gets me going, like, why? What else did we notice? I mean, a lot of things were confirmed. Like, I knew we had a lot of Kathy Barrick patterns. I'm really fond of, like, Not Forgotten Farm, La Di Da, Pineberry Lane. So there's certain things of, like, I've loved you from the start, and I still love you.
So we put those. That was a group that we put together. We also realized that both of us have some PDF patterns that we've purchased but haven't really printed out. So we both have a to-do now of, excuse me, burping again.
Carbonated water.
Of going and printing out the cover photo of those. We don't need to print out the whole thing, but and we'll mark like PDF, and maybe we can maybe also put those in our shared Google Drive.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So that we can both access them if we need to. And if we only have one copy, we'll only stitch one at a time.
Super careful about that.
We're very careful about that. We also, at the end, we didn't count, but when we were sitting down to film, Anna said, "How many do you think we have?"
How many patterns?
And we had a very similar estimate. So we're either both way off or we're in the ballpark.
We're in the ballpark.
What do you want to say?
300.
We're thinking we have about 300 patterns.
So that's a little surprising to me, and another reason why I think it's just kind of good to look at things and reorganize things and just sort of get a sense of wow.
I know, and
such fun.
And looking at it and reorganizing, because there's no way we're going to stitch it all. It's
that's not even the point.
That's not the point. It's nice having the selection. So then also thinking, like, what's the purpose of it? Well, the purpose is to have a library and have a selection of things, but then maybe also the purpose is to sometimes just really sit down, and that's why I want to do it together. Like, let's sit down, have a drink, and just be like, oh, look at this one. I really like this about that, or
Let's do a second round with hazy IPAs.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'm in. So that was that. The other thing we found is we also decided we'd pull out sort of 5 or 6 that either spoke to us, we think we might want to start it, or just something like, oh, friend, I'm so happy to see you again. So why don't we just kind of maybe popcorn back and forth? And some of these we might want to start. Okay.
I think I got this at, Acorns and Thread. This is a little heart and hand Christmas pattern. And I'm just going to stitch the ornament part. I just love this little thing. So if I do any Christmas in July, I may whip that up.
The first two I'm going to show you about were both given to us by viewers, and which was really cool because when I saw them, I'm like, I remember that kindness, and that also kind of puts this sort of wonderful spin on these. So I'm thinking about doing a multiplying bird, and I'm going to do this one. And this is another one that I'm considering putting on the 20 count linen Ada. I think it would look really good on that. So that one really caught my eye, and I think it's one I do want to start.
This is one that I purchased at the attic. I really, really, really like needlework press patterns. This is the one that's a little unfinished, R, W, and B, red, white, and blue, ABC. And I don't think I have any patriotic pieces. I've done some patriotic Christmas for my son-in-law, but I would like to make this piece as part of a little patriotic little cluster of things because it doesn't scream.
Mm-hmm.
So I might do that. I might do that soon too.
Mm-hmm. This was another one that somebody sent us. I think it might have been maybe a couple of years ago, and it's like one of those things too. I keep the people's names or their letters in, and she really thought of us when she saw this particular bird. So I actually think I'm going to do this one sooner than later too. Mm-hmm. And I think you might have stitched this one summer or started stitching it. I
started it on Ada as an experiment of a travel stitch.
Mm-hmm. This would also look good on that linen Ada.
Yeah, and I have the Belle Soie. I think it's called for Belle Soie.
Really?
So yeah, I think I have that.
Ooh. This might be sooner than later. And here it's finished on a box in the back.
I forgot there's that strawberry piece up front. I'm not participating in the strawberry moon sound, but I'm really enjoying watching what other people are doing.
Okay, what's your next one?
All right, this one, I just like a sampler snack like this. Miss Mary Yerger, 1859, Be Thankful Always by Just Stitching Along. I'm wondering if this was a free download or if we bought it.
Yeah, because I don't think that one looked familiar to me.
So again, there's just those Pennsylvania Dutch type motifs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll start this one.
We didn't pull it out.
I love it.
One of our boxes is Kathy Barrick, Carriage House, and Liz Matthews. And Liz Matthews had a really beautiful Pennsylvania Dutch one. Mm-hmm. It looked really great. This is the next one. This is a newer one, Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I think a lot of people got this called the Strawberry Thieves Pin Keep. And there's something about those funky birds. And I have been sort of watching people do the strawberry, but I might do this then.
Yeah, I love that one.
Remember, all of these, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna start that.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna start that.
I'll do that.
Okay.
The next two that I pulled are possibilities for, I'm still interested in stitching single motifs that aren't too huge on perforated paper and making like little needle cards. So we got this at the attic too, Eliza Brown by From the Heart Needle Art. Just some of those flower motifs in there. They might be bigger than I realize, and they might just be a little too big. And then this for Linda, what about just some of those medallions? Like especially that row on the bottom on perforated paper, what would that look like?
Actually, that's a great idea. Anna, we need to do a little planning too, because I have all these grand ideas of little gifts to take to the retreat in September, and it's going to be September before we know it. So that we got to maybe put those in our plans. My next one is, I was really enamored by several Mexican band samplers when we were at the attic, and this was one of them. So I think this is going to be my next one that I do a black and white color and do my old color conversion.
Oh, good.
Because I think the bands could be really fun. I also might make it improvisational, that I don't decide. I just start on the first band, I pick a color, and then sort of add in.
Love it, love it.
So this 404 might be one I start soon.
Notice how many of the ones we're holding up are from the attic. This was one of the things we were considering as a possible sampler for our Sampler Color Exploration. Lucy Owen by the Scarlet House. Again, a sampler snack. It's one of my favorite things to stitch. The other sampler snack.
All right, my next one was a sampler that I got from the attic, and this is Jane Plenderleith, 1838. Who is the designer on this? Oh, Needlework Press. Needlework Press. I'm really drawn to this style sampler where it's kind of bands working down, some alphabets, some more geometric borders, and then there's that house at the bottom. So this is going to be for sure, maybe not anemone star, but my next sampler I do, I think, besides that fancy.
Pineberry Lane, Token of Love. I have loved this and loved this and loved this for years. And I have it in my head of having this in a bowl with the Kitten Stitcher Christmas, Pennsylvania Dutch Christmas ones, Pennsylvania German Christmas ones, like white on red fabric, red on neutral fabric.
Nice.
Love it.
All right, this is the last one that caught my eye. This is Kathy Barrick's Nashville from this year, Quaker House Stocking and Sampler, and I'm going to do the sampler. And it uses the same color palette as her Christmas one, and I had already bought the pack for that, so I'm going to start this one instead with that color pack. So those are the ones that really caught my eye.
And I have one more again from the attic. It's a little heartstring samplery. I think I would change the words. It says sow seeds of love. Just because we have new little ones in the family, I thought that might be a possible birth sampler idea.
Yes. Would you put their name instead? That is a great idea, Anna.
Yeah. Maybe the next little one coming.
This would also be a really fun
me of that
one
family.
to do. To do the sampler color exploration on.
Yeah, you're right. I even like the little rickrack around it, so that might be a birth sampler coming.
Actually, I think that's a great idea for the birth sampler. So that was just a few that we pulled up, but that was so much fun. Although at some point Anna's like, I have decision fatigue, because we were like, should this go in this box or this box?
Again, let's do a second round sooner rather than later.
As we were doing this, we've added to this. This is things that we are done with. And we're either done with it because like this first pattern in here is one that we had 2 copies and I've already stitched it, so we're never going to be doing it at the same time. So sometimes it's duplicates where we know we're not going to be stitching at the same time. There are some little notebooks in here. There's a little thing of beads. There's just patterns, different things in here. So this is what we're going to do. There are about 18 to 20 things in here. We're going to take 4 people. If you're interested in this, you are going to put in your comment.
Surprise.
Surprise. You're going to say surprise. That's our word. Surprise. Because what we're going to do is for those 4 people, you will get a surprise bag that has 4 to 5 things in here. It's going to primarily be patterns, but you might get a little notebook or a few little beads or something, but the majority of it will be patterns. And we're going to probably like mix and match the patterns. So depending on your style, hopefully you'll get something that you like. And when you get your surprise, if it's something that you don't think you're going to stitch or don't want, you can just always pass it on to somebody else. All right. So if you're interested in getting a surprise bag from us, just comment with the word surprise. And again, we'll pick 4 winners on our next video.
Great.
Okay. All right, we're starting to wrap it up a little bit. Let's talk about our plans and then our shared supplies. So Anna, what kind of plans are you thinking about?
All right. So I did not touch the Quaker Christmas sampler. I'm doing that Sal with Annie of XO Needle and Hey XO, and I don't want to fall behind on that. So, and I'm still very much enjoying it. So I want to get that out at some point. I saw a little something about a Black Rooster 1811 Summer Sal by Atelier Swati Day.
A Black Rooster. Have you seen the pattern?
No, it's going to be revealed a chunk at a time each week. It's
Starting
free until October. So you can get like what colors you need and how big it is.
It's pretty big.
I know. It's 221 by 113. I have no idea if I'll stitch the whole thing, if I'll stitch just a part of it. I know it's partly because some of my school responsibilities are falling away and I'm like, I'm all in for everything. I've never tried something like this.
And so we don't know what it's going to look like. It's a mystery.
Right.
And she's going to reveal
Except she showed a little Black Rooster, so that's part of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know if I will continue with it, but I'm intrigued by it.
Go for it. Are you going to do DMC? Are you going to do Classic Colorworks Week style?
I ordered the Vicki Clayton Silk version.
Okay, so you're all in. This is not like a thing you think you're going to do. Fantastic.
I don't know. Even that, it was $30. I'm like,
when does the first installment come out?
I think June 28th or something like that.
Awesome.
End of June. So I'm gonna have a couple of things at the end of
Yeah.
June come out because we have our Evertote.
Awesome. That's right.
And then,
But although we can't start that till August.
Why?
Because it's a monthly sale.
I thought it started in July.
It starts in August. It's August, September, October, November. August, September, October, November.
They're skipping December.
January. That's only 5. Maybe it does start in July.
I hope it does. We can look.
Okay, sorry.
And then just kind of like what we just did now. I can't wait to just take a leisurely look at the whips I have. I have a couple of things that are finished and need to be fully finished, and they're like just in a little box, and I'm still really excited about them, just to do all that. I just love those summer afternoons. Screen door is open, like from 1 to 4 or something before you start thinking about making dinner.
We're going to have
a little
so
sewing.
much more
And like
stitching
I said, I
time.
haven't been using project bags. Maybe I'll make a few project bags. So,
Fantastic.
all right, Carolyn, your plans.
Yeah, so we're about halfway through June, and I haven't yet touched my BAP of the month, which is hyperbole, or my lingering width. I really, as Anna said, I probably have done the same thing, about 8 to 10 hours of stitching in the last so far this
Really
month.
a strange feeling.
I know, but I'm ready to work on those. I think I'm going to finish my Black Swan pin keep. To keep going on that.
Oh, I didn't put that on.
And then
I'm
you're
adding
going to keep
that
going
on
that.
your list.
I'm going to start, this is one I would have started it by now. I'm going to start Wild Wallflowers. That was one I have all the colors picked out and everything for that. So that's ready to go. And then I'll go with the flow after that. And going with the flow is probably going to involve have something to do with something.
Do we need to
in
go
there.
to our LNS next week?
Oh, and I got to stitch that squirrel. I'm going to go to, seriously, you want to go to Michael's after this? Okay. I'm going to start that squirrel sooner than later because I think that just would be so hilarious for Lynn to wake up and see that. All right, that's our plans. And shared supplies, what do you got, Anna? Okay, speaking about patterns.
We got a little DM from Instagram, said, hey, I have some old Kathy Barrick patterns that I have duplicates of. Would you like them? We said, sure.
Did you ask this person if you minded? Oh, well, it'll be obvious when we show her patterns.
Should we wait till next video?
No, I think it's okay.
About that.
I think it's okay.
Okay, one of them's a Portuguese sampler.
I love some of these old Kathy Barracks that we've never seen before. That design in there is spectacular.
It's dense.
Oh yeah,
It's almost full coverage. So that could be a fun one to mess with the colors too.
Yes.
And then this one's called Plain and Fancy.
Oh, this is spectacular.
So you think it's okay to say the name?
I do.
Okay.
Because I think she said, oh, look at that rooster in there. Some of the colors.
I know. I think it's a blend of two threads.
Ooh.
Which I think was much more popular back in the day.
Plain and fancy. Let's
What's
see if
it?
there's a date on this.
2001.
2001. Blended color, one strand of blah and one strand of blah, needlepoint silk. Okay, excuse me. And it's interesting, this was stitched on 40 count. So that was 2 strands on 40 count. Okay.
This generous person is Carmen Sutton, who is the designer beside, I don't know, his Cardan Antiques and Needlework, which this pattern had caught my eye. So I'm happy to connect that name with her business name or her designer name.
And these are two of her
really recent
These are from
2025s.
2025. This one's called Maria Huber, 1830. And this one is called 2 Lessons in Red. And it's a marking sample and a darning sample. I've been so curious to try a darning sampler, and that looks like just the right lesson. Okay.
And then this is one that's 5 years old, the Golden Peacock Pincushion.
But it caught both of our eyes.
So it's that folk,
That would also be fun, even though we've seen the colors. Like, that would be another good color exploration.
Yeah. And
there's not a sampler.
some others. So
a few
thanks so
more.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, Carmen. And you might want to check out her designs. And so this is an older one. This is 2020. Where's it? Okay, great.
And there's some from 2011. So she's been designing for. We need to know more about you.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the Roxy Floss Co. Traditional Linen Club, and so if you haven't seen and you don't want to look, this is called Careless Khaki. I'm enjoying enjoying the
It's
surprise.
pretty, yeah. That's really pretty.
That's pretty true too. Maybe a little, it's probably a little bit darker in person. So something's going to be perfect for that.
Nice.
Do you have any shirts supplies?
Well, I don't have them yet. I have the order coming from Evertoad. It should be here soon. And I ordered my linen and floss for Flora, but then I also just am being inspired. Anna picked some of the colored linen. I think you got 1/8 yards. Right?
I did.
So I picked some of her neutrals and got 8s for that. So I thought it'd be fun.
Do you remember which ones they are? Or we just need to
I
wait?
definitely I got biscuit, I got speculoos, and then I got one more. Because brewing in the back of my head, I have like a quilted English paper piecing hexagon, linen, stitching, something brewing. So just looking, and I thought it might be if you used all the linen from one dyer. So I just wanted to see what some of her neutrals look like. And I also got her dusk, which is a really, really pretty sort of darker, dusty blue.
I remember seeing that, and I was tempted by that as well.
So those hopefully should come soon. All right, Anna, let's end. Okay, I'm cracking up because we're like, okay, we've barely been stitching, like, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. And our videos are almost always like a minute and 8,
An
hour and 8, hour and 10. We're at an hour and 4 right now. It's hilarious. All right,
Hilarious.
Anna, what are your thumbs up?
Surprised. All right, so 2 of my grandgirls are now old enough to start. They're starting to say, well, one of them is saying my name for a while. I just love my grandmother's name is Birdie, and I love the way it comes out with their little mouth. And the youngest one, she's been saying like 2 syllables that were like, I think she's saying my name, and definitely it sounds a little bit like Diddy. So it's cracking me up. Really enjoying that. Last floss tube I featured yummy, delicious strawberries. This floss tube, my thumbs up, are the strawberry products at Trader Joe's. I think this was in my thumbs up list. So the little strawberry ice cream cones, the little tiny cones, the strawberry and vanilla yogurt covered pretzels. My daughter-in-law brought over a strawberry cake with a strawberry cream cheese icing the other night.
From TJ's?
So good. I love the flavor of strawberries. And then my third thumbs up is just the feeling of waking up without any specific responsibilities. Just feels so good. Carolyn, your thumbs up.
All right, my first thumbs up. I have been geeking out about planners.
Yes, I'm noticing our Instagram feed has changed.
I know.
We get such a kick out of having a shared feed.
Sometimes I'm like, what has Anna been looking at? Sometimes there's like a lot about like twins and triplets.
I swear, I don't know where that's coming from. I noticed that too. Maybe because my little ones have been visiting.
Our sister Susan, she and her husband were down visiting, and she's been using a planner system, and we talked a lot about planning and what she does on paper. So we were just already geeking out about it. And so I ended up ordering a planner like her planner, and it's from this company, Laurel Denise, and then I got sucked down a rabbit hole of their YouTube videos. So I haven't watched any FlossTube really. I've been geeking, and then
I gotta watch one.
I went out. That got me over to another person who's been talking about their planning system, and I think part of this too is like my life is definitely changing. Like I won't have as much work. Like how do I want to plan? And really, for this last year, I've been saying things like, "Oh, I need to do blah." But I'm going to wait until I'm retired to do that. So I have a big list of like projects and different things I want to do. So also doing.
They need a little fleshing out.
They need fleshing out. So I'm just geeking out, and Anna's going to laugh because when I plan, I also got like their color coordinated.
Oh, that's irresistible.
Post-it notes.
That is irresistible.
They have these sheets of like color coded like stickers that you can put on with things, different shapes. So yesterday, where did I put my little zipper bag?
This?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yesterday I pulled out a sheet of stickers I'm gonna do, and then I'm like, well, let me find my highlighters that match the colors.
This is cracking me up because it's not quite
I know
what I associate with your usual style.
My usual.
Usually, like I want a Baron and Fig notebook and a mechanical pencil.
This is my usual planner. I love these open dot journals that you can just do whatever you want. So this has been a go-to for a long time. And what I'm learning about planners, you may not know this, Anna, Seriously, I'm geeking out.
Fun.
People don't just have one planner.
Oh, I did not know that.
Okay, you have like your calendar planner, you have your project planner, you have your planner to track your this, you have your planner for that, you have your little journal that you take with you. I mean, when you get into this world, it's this one woman showed me, it's called your planner stack. What's your planner stack? And then people change their planners during the year. They're trying this, they're trying that. So thumbs up. There's just something about this geeking. And I think part of it too is I'm also kind of reimagining, you know, what is my day going to look like?
What kind of structure do you want? What's it going to look like?
I want to make sure you know, just, it's not going to be an issue for me, but just how do you stay active? How do you stay productive? How do you stay connected to people? Like, how can you build that into your planning and your journaling? Thumbs up number 1. Thumbs up number 2 is my other transition. I have had this amazing, fantastic commuter bike. I think I've put thousands of miles on it. I've had it for now probably, do we give you one when you turned 50?
50th.
Okay, I've had this bike for then about 15 years. And it just really needed an overhaul. The tire was flat. It needed a good tune-up. Like a lot of things needed to be replaced because the rubber had deteriorated. And while I was waiting, I had been riding my husband's bike. And I'm like, oh, his bike's really light. Long story short, I bought a new bike. Susan and Eric, they went to the bike store to pick out some bike shoes for his birthday while they were visiting. And I'm in there and I'm like, oh, can I test ride that bike? And before Susan's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm buying a bike. I'm going to put a little video of me riding my new bike right here. I'll insert it now. All right, I love it. It's you're sitting up high. It's a nice bright blue, and it has just 7 speeds. Where we live, that's plenty. So I'm really loving my new bike. We rode down to the farmer's market today, as I said. And then my last thumbs up. Is anybody out there watching Top Chef? We watched the finale last night, and I love that show so much. I love this. This was a great season. I love Kristen, who's our new host for the last couple of years. It's always sad when it was done, but I had so much fun watching that. That's my thumbs up.
Okay.
All right, Anna. Let's go to Michael's.
1:10. Let's go to Michael's.
All right, everybody. To Michael's. Till next time.
Happy crafting.
Stay curious, everybody. All right.
See ya.
All right, so Anna, tell them what we're working on right now.
We are taking all of our patterns out of boxes and recategorizing them. Interestingly enough, sometimes